Hello, this is Tux J. Smith from Log Farm. I'm going to tell you about the update to wobbegong XMP. Today's date is the 28th of August 2015 and wobbegong XMP was updated yesterday and put on the website. So download the zip file, I've extracted it. I'm now running both the client and the level designer because I want to show you what the changes are with both. So first of all, when you start the client, as I mentioned before, you get an empty landscape. I don't supply any maps. You have to either create your own or visit a web server or another computer where maps exist. So let's go where maps exist then. Hit the T key and so you get this command prompt at the bottom, then http://www.logfarm.net. Obviously if you want to visit anybody else's maps, you type their domain in there. It's just a rather a lot of T's there. There we go. So off we go to the logfarm.net web space, and we are downloading all the assets for startmap.wob, and we only download them once. And here we are. I want to tell you, in case you didn't know, this is all these objects on here, these 3D objects around here that you can explore if you go to logfarm.net, are 3D representations of this. This is my homepage, and on here, on my homepage at logfarm.net, you'll find all the applications. So basically all I've done is I've taken all those applications and added them to a 3D environment. As I've hinted before, I like to think of wobbegong XMP or the Wob as a replacement for a web browser. So rather than have flat web pages, you have 3D pages that people can visit and interact with. The first thing you should know about is audio. You can add an audio to any object, and I'll just come to the map here and show you. So I'm just clicking on an object on the map here, and you now have this new thing here, new pull down for audio. So you can add audio to objects. Go back here. So if the object moves, the audio will stick to that object, so you'll hear the audio get louder as the object comes closer and get quieter as the object goes farther away. So let's turn this volume up a bit. Can you hear that birdsong? So I've added birdsong to the log farm 3D object there. So if I move away, it gets a bit quieter. So there we go. So add audio to 3D objects. Done that. Right. Let's go to. I've created this other map called Asteroidscape, which you can visit by just coming to this web page here, this wob page here. And so if we hop on there, straight in. Here we are. This is Asteroidscape, and I've made it specifically to design the new features of this update. And the new features are water, sound and lights. Let's show you some water. Right. You can hear the ambient audio there. I'll demonstrate that in a second. Very much like it. Now down here is the water. So there's water in this crater, and if you walk around, you can go under the water and you can see some light reflections on the thing. Okay, here's the enemy. An enemy has audio attached to it. Each of the enemies, there's 3 of them on this map, have audio attached to them. If I stun him, he shuts up for 5 seconds. But the audio is following him as he moves. So if I come away, and here he comes again. So the further I get away from him, the quieter he gets. And that's going to get a bit annoying with this with this demo here. What else did I want to show? Yes, if the water, right, so the water will appear. I'm going to hit mute a second. I'm going to come here. So how do you add water to your map? Because it's a general thing, a general map thing. If you hold the shift key down and click anywhere on the map, you get this the map properties, and up here you see the map has water. If you create a hole in your map, sort of a dent in your map that's -6 or lower, and water will appear in those holes if it's -6. And I'm sure that that's confusing you, and you feel free to ask me about that, but it is quite obvious once you do it. And there's some other things on here. You can see new features are lights. Now the reason why this map here has this sort of like a pink and an orangey and an orange look to it is because of these lights. You can now add lights to the map, change the colour of the lights. Ambient means the whole map gets this light. These two, the light 1 and 2 point from the corners of 2 of the corners of the map and point into it, and they give this. You can give it all sorts of nice effects. What else we got? Right, so let's talk about that ambient audio. I'll just back up here. Hang on. So if I come down on the map, I'll show you where we are. So I'm looking at my mini-map on the left here. So I'll just scroll over. Here it is. So this green dot at the bottom of this, button bar here, you have a new button. That green button there looks a bit like a speaker. That's what it's supposed to look like. You can add an invisible object that's an ambient object, and it will, or it's any sound object. I call them ambient, but any sound object. So as soon as you tap that and tap on the map, you get this green blob. You right click on it obviously to get the properties, and you can add any sound to it. And at the moment I've got this asteroid ambient sound. And as you approach it, you can't see it, but as you approach it, you obviously hear the sound. And I'll show you that now. I have to unmute it, but get the buggers here. Go away, thank you. Mute. Unmute. Shut up. You hear that? That's the ambient. That's that little green dot. That's what that green dot's doing. Now, water. Water is great fun, and it's dependent on the graphics card, just like anything in video games. Of course, it's all dependent on your graphics card. Okay. And so it might cause some people lag. They're going to come down and follow me in a minute. There they are. So let's say you're suffering from a bit of lag. What you can do, get your command prompt, #water off. Thank you, the water's off now. So you'll see if you look down here, the water's gone. But we want it back on again, so we type the #water on, it's back on again. Right, so spoiler alert, if you I'm going to just explore this map for you, so you don't have to bother if you don't want to. So I've added this Dalek this Dalek isn't rigid. I can walk straight through him, but it still has audio attached to it. So it doesn't have to be rigid for audio to be attached to it. Anything else in there? Oh, I think I should leave you to explore that map if you're interested. Okay, so we're going to head back to the Go there, please. Thank you. Shut those people up. Right. Okay. Let's have a look. What we got? Oh yeah. One thing I wanted to tell you about the enemies was a bug has been fixed where they kept falling through the floor. Occasionally they would fall through the floor. They don't do that anymore. Right, we don't fall through the floor. I've mentioned lights, bulldoze, which is the fun part in my opinion. So we're going to go to scrapyard. We're back on the home page, by the way. So let's go to scrapyard. Here we are, scrapyard. Now bulldoze is a bit different to what it used to be if you ever tried it. What you do is you hold your E key down and you push the forward. Well, that push it a little bit. It just kind of punches it really. That whoosh whoosh noise is the enemy again. But a trick is you hold the forward key down and repeatedly push the bulldoze. And this is a very useful game mechanic and makes it great fun when you have maps with lots of blocks that have a high damage level. You can just push them out the way. It doesn't make it easier to finish a game. It really doesn't, because you don't see what's behind it, and generally what's behind it is an enemy or a fire or something that will hurt you. So yeah, bulldozing is great stuff. Right, anything else? I'm just having a look, just having checking my list. Oh, I've got enemies on me. No, I think that's about it. Let's have a quick look, see if I've missed anything here. So we've got, I mentioned the audio. You can add audio to an object, as I showed you. And these, anything new there? Now, the landscape, well, you know, the asteroid I specifically chose. You've got this Android scene, which I created with JMonkey, and that's another video altogether. I'll show you how to do that. That's it. Okay, done. Thank you very much for your patience and listening to me blabber. Bye bye.